You often find yourself giving too much away, don't you? Your bright ideas, your hopes, your secret plans, even the desires of your heart. You open your mind like a treasure chest, and everyone comes to pick from it, leaving their marks on every valuable thought you ever held. Machiavelli knew this truth. The moment others know what you want, they can easily stop you. Your true strength doesn't come from what you openly do, but from what you make them think you might do, all while your real goal stays hidden deep inside. If your moves are clear, they can push you around. If your choices are easy to guess, they can block your path. And if your whole being can be explained simply, you can be completely controlled. You believe you're being honest. You think being true to yourself is important. You believe explaining your aims will earn you respect. But you're missing what they truly do with that knowledge. They pretend to share your goals to earn your trust. They ruin your path before you even take the first step. They plant seeds of doubt with just one quiet comment. They act on your ideas before you can, taking all the praise. You didn't fail because you weren't good enough. You failed because someone else, quietly, got to your finish line first. So before we go further, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. What I reveal next reshapes your world forever. Machiavelli would tell you, if your enemies know your next step, you've already given them the weapon to use against you. You long to be seen. You wish to be understood. But here's the harsh reality. Being seen makes you open to attack. And being open to attack in the wrong situation can destroy you. The warmest smiles often hide the sharpest knives. And the more others can guess what you'll do, the easier it is for them to plan your downfall. Think of the greatest rulers, the strongest leaders, the most feared thinkers. They never laid all their cards on the table. They spoke with care, giving out only small truths. They shared just enough to gain trust, but never enough to be stopped. They let people believe they had them figured out, right before they made a move no one could have seen coming. There's a reason why the quietest person in a room often gets the most attention. There's a reason why the one who speaks less is heard more carefully. It's because we fear what we don't fully understand, and we become obsessed with what we can't guess. Mystery doesn't just make you interesting, it makes you dangerous. When people don't know what you truly want, they can't block your plans. They can't force your hand. They start to question their own thoughts, not yours. You stop being a pawn in their game and become the main player they can't track. That's when real power starts to grow. You tell people your next move because you're looking for comfort, for someone to say you're doing well, for their approval. But Machiavelli would say, every time you speak your intentions, you lose a piece of your power. And if the person you're speaking to isn't truly loyal to your success, what you call honesty becomes ammunition they'll use against you. Here's what often happens. They smile, nod, tell you to go for it. Then they start to plant seeds of doubt. Then they slow you down. Then they quietly do the very thing you planned right before you. All this happens while you thought they were helping you. They weren't. They were simply waiting in your blind spot. A Machiavellian person doesn't announce their plans. They watch. They set traps subtly. They let others show their weaknesses. And when the perfect moment arrives, they act quickly, without hesitation, and without any warning. This is the art of hidden strength. No loud speeches, no seeking praise, no public promises. Only results. Let them see what you achieve, not how you achieved it. Let them ask, how did that happen? Not, is he really gonna do it? You want power? Speak less, move in quiet ways, and strike like your move was never planned. You don't need to tell them what you're creating. You don't need to explain why you stepped back. You don't need to share your blueprints just to feel less alone. Let them think you're lazy. Let them believe you're failing. Let them mock your quietness. Because when the results finally show up, there will be nothing left for them to say. Only to watch. Machiavelli didn't just suggest this, he lived it. He built powerful empires, and hid his true methods behind layers of smiles and seeming friendliness. That's how you truly play the game of life. You don't just survive, you think smarter than everyone else. You wait longer. And then, when they least expect it, you take full control. One of the greatest gifts you'll ever receive is being underestimated. Machiavelli knew, it is better to be feared than loved, but even better to be doubted, until it's too late for them to react. If they think you are weak, you are free to build your plans in peace. If they think you are slow, you will always be one step ahead. Let them confuse your quietness with not knowing what to do. Let them see your calm as doing nothing. Let them believe they have you all figured out. Because every second they assume they know your next move is a second, you've already changed the entire game board. The smartest players in any field use one key tool: misdirection. Say yes and quietly do the opposite. Say soon and act in silence today. Say nothing at all and let the tension grow until you act with overwhelming force. Misdirection isn't lying, it's controlling how others see things. And how people see things is the foundation of all power, because if they believe the wrong thing, they will make the wrong moves. And if they make the wrong moves, you win without ever needing to raise your voice. Modern society praises being open, be clear, be real. Show people how you do things. But Machiavelli would laugh at this. The more they know your methods, the easier it is to guess your next step. The easier it is to copy your ideas, steal your momentum, or quietly ruin your efforts. Being completely open only makes sense when you are already in a position of power. Until then, you are simply handing out weapons to your rivals. Real strategy? You build your castle in total silence. And when the gates finally open, it is already fully built, with a deep trench, loyal guards, and walls too high for anyone to climb. Silence by itself isn't power. What makes it powerful is when you become impossible to read. Anyone can be quiet, but few can make their quietness feel like a mystery that no one can solve. To become truly unreadable, speak in small, broken pieces. Share ideas that seem to contradict each other. Change your patterns of behavior just when they think they've learned how you work. Leave some sentences unfinished. When they can't pin you down, they start to second-guess themselves, and that's when you've already won, before a single action is taken. Think of every person who always announces their goals. I'm going to achieve this, just wait and see. They'll realize soon enough. They believe making noise creates pressure, makes them accountable, draws attention. But in Machiavelli's playbook, announcements invite others to interfere. Public declarations attract sabotage. The loudest ones are always the first to be targeted. Why? Because they've already told you what they care about most. They've told you where their weak spots are. They've shown you what they're afraid of losing. You don't need to try and defeat loud people. You just let them talk and listen carefully. And while they shout, you build your own strength quietly, until your results make all their noise completely meaningless. The most respected players carry an air of mystery, not because they are hiding in fear, but because even when they speak, you're never quite sure what they truly meant. Are they a friend or an enemy? Are they waiting to act or already moving? Did they say that to warn you or to trick you? This is the kind of powerful mystery you must build around yourself. Controlled mystery does three important things. It freezes enemies. They can't plan against what they don't understand. It draws loyalty. People respect what they can't fully define. It builds authority, because people follow mystery before they follow simple instructions. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to try and convince anyone. You just need to create doubt in everyone around you, except for yourself. That's true influence. Machiavelli understood something simple but deadly. The one who speaks least in a room is usually the one who controls it. Because when you speak, you show what you value, what you fear, what you seek. what you'll fight for, and what you'll give up for. But when you listen, you gather power. The best tricksters, the smartest planners, the true Machiavellians, they don't force conversations. They guide them by saying almost nothing at all. They ask one or two sharp questions, then they simply listen, and the other person, eager to be heard, tells everything. That's when the real game begins. Every conversation is a battle for control. This control is the unseen way both people see who holds the power, what the topic really means, what the rules are. If they make the conversation about, "You owe me an answer," they control its speed. Let's be honest here. They set the mood. What are you hiding? They force you to explain. But Machiavellians never let others set the mood. Instead, they respond in a way that's not fully clear. Shift the topic. Ask questions back. Use quietness to get back control. They never answer defensively. They never chase approval. They never react quickly. They own the mood. And by doing so, they own the outcome. Want to know someone's deepest intentions? Here's how Machiavelli would do it. He'd give them just enough room to talk. He'd praise them, make them feel heard, feel safe. He might drop a vague hint, not to be honest, but to get them to talk more. Because once someone feels comfortable, once they think you've shown a weakness, they reveal too much. They tell you who they trust, who they envy, what they want, what they fear losing most, and all you've done is nod. The more they speak, the more control you gain. Because now you don't just know their plan, you know how they think. And that is a powerful advantage that cannot be taken away. Machiavellians don't ask, "What are you doing?" They ask questions that create doubt inside. Why did you decide to do it that way? What made you trust them? Are you sure that won't cause problems later? These are not simple questions. They are like psychological traps, placed to make the other person rethink their confidence, second-guess their own reasons, and show their fears just to explain themselves. And the moment someone explains themselves to you, they've already accepted your quiet authority. Machiavellians never fight openly for power. They let others offer it to them, without even knowing it, simply by answering the wrong question. Here's an old strategy. Let your enemies talk themselves into exposing their weakness. You don't need to argue. You don't need to correct them. You don't even need to challenge their point. Just stay quiet. Let the quietness linger. Let them keep explaining. Let them give too many reasons. Let them repeat themselves. Eventually, they'll start revealing what they're unsure of. Then, what they're truly afraid of. Then, who they feel threatened by. By the time they realize it, you already know exactly where to strike. This is how the Machiavellian plays the long game. He never argues. He collects information. And then, he acts. The final power move of keeping things hidden isn't just about being quiet. It's about unseen influence. Machiavellians become skilled at changing people's decisions without directly giving advice, making people think an idea was their own, guiding groups without taking any public credit. They don't shout orders. They plant ideas. They create doubt. They change the mood of the room just by being in it. This is influence without taking ownership, power without being exposed. It's the opposite of seeking approval. It's control through being invisible. And it's the highest level of power Machiavelli envisioned. Most people think silence means you have nothing to say, but in Machiavelli's playbook, silence means you have too much power to waste on speaking. Every word you hold back builds pressure. Every silent moment you let linger makes tension multiply. Every pause forces others to show what you already knew. And in that quiet, you don't just own the moment, you reshape the entire feeling of the room. The person who talks is competing. The person who listens is planning. The person who waits is winning. Being a bit unclear is the most elegant way to make others feel uneasy. You don't threaten them. You don't react. You simply remain impossible to read and let them create their own fears. What did he mean by that? Why hasn't he replied yet? Is he planning something big? Is he testing me? The mind cannot stand not knowing things. It fills those gaps with worry, doubt, stories, and fear. And the more you leave unsaid, the more they will talk for you. That's when you've turned being unclear into a form of control. Machiavelli used this in courts, meetings, and talks. He never attacked head-on. He let fear and imagination do the work for him. You don't need to argue. You don't need to correct their lies. You don't need to defend yourself against weak attacks. You just step back and let them fight with things that aren't real. That's how you make silence feel louder than outrage. People expect you to defend, to react, to explain, because that puts them in control. But when you give them nothing, they panic. They replay the last thing you said. They question if they crossed a line. They wonder if you're done with them. Your silence now holds all the power their words tried to steal. That's how Machiavellians make being absent feel like a powerful presence. Being misunderstood is a gift, not a problem. Because when they misunderstand you, they lower their guard, they reveal their plans, they think little of your true strength. Machiavelli saw this again and again. People who hid their intentions behind confusion always had the upper hand. You don't need everyone to get you. Let them assume. Let them read you wrong. Let them think you're unimportant, until you become impossible to ignore. People don't defend against what they don't see as a threat, and that's when you act. There is a type of power that doesn't need to be announced. It's simply felt. It's the presence that enters a room and changes the atmosphere. It's not from money, status, or looks. It's from how little you need to prove. Machiavelli knew power is best shown by holding back. While others interrupt, he waits. While others explain, he watches. While others chase, he vanishes. And suddenly, everyone adjusts to him. Because we are drawn to what we don't understand, especially when it doesn't need our approval to exist. You don't become powerful by shouting. You become powerful by showing that silence follows you. People only start to value something the moment it's rare. And the most valuable form of attention in today's world? The kind that isn't chasing anyone. You want to know how to make someone respect your power without ever raising your voice? Withdraw your attention. No warnings. No explanations. Just quiet space. And then let them sit in it. Let them question themselves. Let them search for answers. Let them beg for the clarity you once gave too freely. Because the moment your presence becomes optional is the moment they start realizing they are replaceable. Machiavellian strategy isn't loud, it's exact, it's cold, and it's terrifyingly effective. You've been taught to be charming, expressive, engaging. But Machiavelli knew the real danger in any room isn't the loudest voice. It's the person who doesn't react. While everyone else rushes to speak, prove, argue, interrupt, the Machiavellian sits still. He speaks when he wants to change the direction. He stays quiet when he wants to be in control. He breaks silence only to guide the mood of the conversation. That kind of control doesn't come from words. It comes from being perfectly calm and steady. Because when you don't react, you force others to control themselves. That's not just being there, that's pure power. You think your reputation is built by what you say. It's not. It's built by what you don't say. The person who doesn't explain himself, the one who never corrects rumors, who never bothers with the weak opinions of others, becomes a mystery people talk about but can never truly define. And what can't be defined can't be easily dismissed. Machiavelli believed your influence shouldn't depend on your defenses. It should depend on your distance. Let them wonder, is he angry or just calm? Did he ignore me, or is he carefully watching me? Was that silence permission or punishment? That's how strong reputations are born. Not from noise, but from carefully controlled absence. Fear doesn't always come from great strength. It comes from not knowing. If they don't know what you want, they don't know how to stop you. If they don't know what you feel, they don't know where to hurt you. If they don't know what you're thinking, they become obsessed with trying to guess it. And that obsession, that constant thinking, second-guessing, worrying, it puts them below you without you ever needing to show you're dominant. You don't need to show your hand. You just need to let them fear what's hidden. That's true fear, subtle, unseen, and complete. Here's a trick most never see coming. You can control a conversation without leading it. Let them talk. Let them feel important. Let them think they're winning your attention. And then, interrupt once. Ask one sharp question. Make one calm but cold statement that instantly changes the atmosphere. You'll feel the energy shift. Their voice drops. Their hands move slower. They choose their words carefully. Because in that one moment you reminded them, I'm allowing you to speak. Not because I need to listen, but because I already know what you are. You don't need to control every single moment, you just need to change one perfectly. Words are limited, but what you might know, that's endless in their mind. You didn't deny, you didn't confirm, you just didn't answer. And that silence keeps echoing in their head. They start reviewing every move they've made. They start wondering what you might have seen. They start pulling back, not out of guilt, but because your silence makes them feel exposed. This is how powerful men lead rooms, make deals, even rule nations, not by telling everyone what they know, but by letting others imagine how dangerous they might be. Machiavelli didn't preach being open. He preached creating fear through not knowing. And the longer you hold that silence, the louder it becomes in everyone else's mind. At some point you stop being just a person and start becoming a story whispered among others. He doesn't say much, but he always seems to know. Be careful around him, he watches everything. If he goes quiet, something big is coming. That kind of reputation isn't built in public. It's built in the shadows. You don't ask for attention, you get it by not needing it. You don't chase influence, you spread it by being hard to read. And you don't force fear, you let it build in others naturally, because your silence says everything they're afraid to hear. Machiavelli knew this deeply. When you disappear, you don't shrink, you grow larger in their minds, because people don't remember things that are always the same. They remember mystery. They remember what you didn't say. They remember the moves you almost made. They remember the person who vanished, just before they could figure him out. This is how you let silence become your lasting mark. You don't need to post. You don't need to show up. You don't need to explain why you're gone. You just disappear. And in that empty space, your value grows greatly. From this point on, every word you speak must serve one of two purposes: to make your presence stronger, or to make your mystery deeper. If it doesn't do either, you keep your mouth shut. Because the more they hear you, the more they understand you. And the more they understand you, the more they believe they've figured you out. Machiavelli would rather be seen as a feared ghost than loved as an open book. Your reputation isn't made from being seen by everyone. It's made from carefully planned quietness and perfectly timed impact. Say little, mean everything. You've now walked the full path, from being heard too much to speaking only when it truly matters, from being easy to read to becoming a legend, from chasing clear answers to becoming the mystery they can't solve. This is no longer just a plan, this is who you are. Let them talk, let them guess. Let them fear your next move. Because your silence is no longer a break, it's a powerful presence. And in the world of Machiavelli, that's the only presence that can't be touched. In every room, every conversation, every decision, you'll be there, even when you're not physically present. Because they've learned when you're quiet they should worry. When you're still, something important is coming. When you speak, it's already too late for them. This is what power without noise looks like. It's not announced openly. It's put into the minds of others. You're no longer just a person. You're a factor they must always consider, an outcome they can't predict, a shadow they can't escape. Machiavellian silence is no longer just a tool, it's your very identity. The world doesn't reward the loud. It uses them, laughs at them, forgets them. But the one who plans in quiet, the one who says nothing, shows nothing, and gives nothing away, that person rules longer, rules more smartly, and rules without needing to announce he's in power. So let them ask, what's he thinking? Why is he so quiet? Is he still watching? Let them wonder. Let them obsess. Let them fear the intention they'll never see. Because the one thing you never told them was the only thing they ever truly needed to know. If you're ready to fully claim your place, hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear these truths, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. Don't miss the next lesson in becoming truly untouchable. This is your era of silent influence.